Greetings and welcome to Enigmatic Creator Tip. Pro tip 1. Make sure that your mic is connected to your camera when you want to record some shit and you need to talk. This is take 2. What's funny is take 1 was 11 minutes, and now that I did that, I probably don't need to take 11 minutes to check in with all of you. However, I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're having a good day. I am still navigating life and myself and existence in primarily silence. I have like an hour or two a day that I might have some, TV time. It's usually at the end of the day. But otherwise, I'm still just in it to win it in this silence. So much so that my psychedelic experiences have also been in silence, except for maybe one. I think they all have been since I quit my medicine fast that was determined to be unnecessary. That's been interesting. I feel like I'm getting over the internal hardship of just being hard on myself about how far I go. I just need to do what I need to do and not worry about what I want sometimes. I don't know, I definitely want those psychedelic experiences that blow your hair back. There's so much there, but I'm just not in a space right now to bring myself to those experiences. At least that's not how I feel, and that's okay. I'm not in a competition for anything with this shit. I just need to do me. There's definitely a whole lot more that we can unpack with that, but it is interesting though because I've talked about Changa quite a bit and DMT, and one of the things that I've experienced is my back could be hurting really, really bad before I begin an experience, and during the experience my pain is alleviated and goes away, and that relief lasts for a while. And I thought that it was just kind of part of the afterglow, that it was, more psychological than anything, and that my mind just wasn't moving towards where the pain was in a way for me to have an internal response to it. But my boss wrote something recently, and he acknowledged a potential for anti-inflammatory properties with DMT. So it's almost like I have more reason to do it. And then it's funny, it's like, why do I need a reason in the sense that I feel that I need it? Because I have plenty of reasons, but there's a part of me that's like, oh, none of these are good enough. And so then we can ask, like, what's a good enough reason? And I know where the end of this goes. It ends up in some like arbitrary realm, because it's going to get to this kind of inflection point of the what's the word I'm looking for, abstract, when we start to dig deep into what we call reality. Like, in order to explain reality, we need abstractions, and abstractions are real by proxy of that. I'm going back on that materialism dualism kick again. It's just funny how people pick sides for me. Anyway, so the reason I was talking about anti-inflammatory properties of DMT and me smoking Changa and doing it all in silence, I promise this all ties together, is that recently I found out that I have a torn labrum in my left hip socket, as well as degenerative disc disease, L5 through S1, which is pretty common, but I'm still surprised by it and dismayed. And then I have 2 bulging discs as well, and they're pushing on a nerve. So all this pain I've been in makes a whole lot more sense now. And a lot of what I've been going through, especially in this silence, I get to see how I've been too hard on myself, and how external forces and sources have contributed to that. Because I've been in pain for a long time, and I've had this like hang up over my psychedelic use and whatnot for a long time. That also has a lot of external influences. And this is why we're just kind of where we are with, not giving a fuck. But I do find some relief with, my journeys with the hip and back pain that I experience as well. And, I'm going to be dealing with it for a while, because I'm getting older and shit, and it's not like degenerative disc disease has, a cure. So it's like, let's buckle up. And so I'm already in physical therapy, and I'll be seeing an orthopedic surgeon next month. But I'm a bit nervous, especially since They say when you have something like a torn labrum in your hip that you shouldn't deadlift and squat and do certain other movements that are very important to me, as movement in general is just important to me, being somebody who's been athletic and likes to challenge their body. So I'm at a loss because I also let out a lot of rage and anger through lifting heavy, and I can't go as heavy as I want to. And the day before I found out, I had cold started 295, came up smooth, easy, like I didn't have any aggravation or anything from it. But I do understand now why I have certain types of pain in that hip, and why certain movements elicit more pain and things like that, and that helps me to be able to manage it. So I know that like I have to trigger point pretty much every day. That does do something, that does help with the inflammation, the blood flow that is necessary in those regions. So that's been a big fucking deal and on my mind a lot, and a stressor. But I can still dragon squat on both legs. Otherwise, I've just been really busy with just life in general and things at the center, and trying to get myself in order and move ahead and build something. I'm trying to figure out what I want to build, and what I want to build is going to be something enigmatic because I'm an enigmatic person. It's going to be a reflection of me in some ways, right? Because I always want to be authentic. I don't want to tailor some bullshit to appeal to bullshit, which I feel is what happens in the world a lot of times. An example of that is Hollywood. People talk about there's no new good stories that come out, and it's like, well, yeah, motherfuckers are afraid to take a risk, because if they take a risk and it flops, then they don't make money, and money is lost, and the bottom line is the top dollar. So what can we do? This is where we are. So I'm just trying to do my best to be authentic while, it's finding the balance, be authentic while finding the appeal. So one of my hopes is that people want philosophy and in-depth discourse and conversation again, even if it's free form like what I'm doing right now, which I think that there's something very valuable in this as well. Instead of people wanting things to just be quick and easy and digestible, and like you don't have to chew it, which kind of comes back to what my buddy was saying about I had a buddy tell me recently that talking to me is sometimes like reading Finnegan's Wake, and what he meant is that I can make a statement, and it could be what seems like a generally simple statement, but there's a lot to unpack, and it's very nuanced and layered with polyvalency. And part of the reason I do that is because people are they don't have the attention span, and for me to get out what I want to get out, I have to be very concise, otherwise I'm going to lose people. But it's funny that my friend said that, because I have been talking about recently with some other people that, I hate my writing, and like it's hard for me to journal, which came up in therapy. And part of it is because I kind of feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Some of that comes from childhood. Whenever I was required to put pen to paper as a child, it was typically because somebody else required me to, a teacher for an assignment, my dad, because he wanted me to write the same sentence over and over again. And so what comes along with that as well is the awareness and the expectation for whatever you're putting pen to paper for to also be judged. Assignments get graded. My dad wanted to make sure that I wrote every sentence. So I never learned to like write on my own behalf, and to like create my own standards and my own to figure out what I find to be quality in that. It's almost like I've been paying attention to the wrong end of the bell curve, and I need to pay attention to the complete opposite end. So that's been very valuable for me as well. A lot of this has, also been a byproduct of just being in so much silence. I did have someone tell me that they really enjoyed the steel tongue drumming that I did, so I will try to share more videos of that as well, because I do feel like I'm getting better. I don't feel like I'm necessarily good at it or anything, but I just want to be good enough that people enjoy it. Nice and simple. I don't need to be the epitome of anything. So yeah, I think I covered all the bases that I tried to cover the first time around. At least I know that this is being recorded this time. So, but yeah, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what stood out to you, what jumped out at you. And give me a like, give me a subscribe. Please share with anybody that you would think would like this or appreciate it. And be good to you, be good to others. I'll catch you next time. Have a great day. Peace.